Looking good, YouTube. My name's Love Game, or PD1 Piranha if you prefer, and I am a man destined to be king. Welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls. Now, I am actually back in the tower that the Taurus demon was fought in before, or fought along. He was on the bridge, actually, but I did open this door last time, and I said we'd come back here later. Well, now, in my opinion, is plenty later. So let's head down these stairs and see what lies in wait for us. Or rather, who. And would you look at... not quite. A lot of flights of stairs here. Would you look at that. That's that boy. This guy's name is Havel. He is actually kind of a central figure within the lore of Dark Souls. He was a trusted friend of Lord Gwyn, and he really hated magic. So he created an armor set, as well as a certain spell, ironically enough, that will negate magic in some ways. He is incredibly strong. He wields the Dragon Tooth weapon, which is a weapon that will probably kill you in one hit at this point in the game. So all you want to do to this guy is just mercilessly backstab fish. Don't have any shame about it. I mean, this is what you really just want to do, nothing but backstab fish over and over again. Just circle around him, watch your stamina, one hit at a time. Whenever he swings that big ol' tooth, I don't know if it's actually a dragon tooth or not, but I would not put it past him. And just keep doing this. I mean, you're seeing what I'm doing right here, obviously. Just don't get greedy. Don't try to attack him normally. He will probably deplete all your stamina in one go, just like that. But as you can see, it is incredibly worth it to kill him. As for why, well, he drops the Havel's ring, one of the first rings you can get in this game. I'm gonna go ahead and equip it on the ring slots here. You can have one of, you can have two at once. This ring will increase your equip weight by a whopping 50%. At this point in the game, and at any point in the game, that is incredibly huge. That will allow you to, excuse me, wear a lot more things. It also leads out to the Darkroot Basin. However, I kind of want to go to the Darkroot Basin the more traditional way, so let's go ahead and do that, shall we? Let's get our homeward bones out. So I have 7 of those things left. I believe you usually get one after a boss, so if you want to, like, you know, if you have a lot of boss souls on you and you don't want to, like, just risk them, you can just go right back to the bonfire, and there's nothing stopping you, unless you're out. I was so confused when I first played Dark Souls 2, actually. And I found the homeward bone, because I thought it was like a bone that you threw that would, like, somehow your body would, like, snap to it. I thought it was, like, kind of a funny thing in my head, because it was like that one gem in Sonic 06 that you could use to, like, warp to certain places, but it was incredibly buggy. By the way, the loading I found out is because I have mods installed. Whenever you have a graphical mod, the game will need a few seconds to load it. Thankfully, I don't have very many of those, so again, it's only for this early game segment here that you'll be seeing that, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Can we? I don't want to do it yet. I'll do it in a second. I was going to see about that armor we had. By the way, I can one-shot these guys now, because I did upgrade my mace all the way to +5. Weapons in this game can be upgraded to a maximum of +15. That is as far as they will go. And it goes for armor and shields and pretty much all that stuff except for catalysts. But certain weapons upgrade different than others. For example, you have the Black Knight weapons, which I'll show off later. Those can be only upgraded with Twinkling Titanite, which we got a few pieces of earlier. I don't need to rest. Actually, yeah, in case we die. Just in case. Can't be too careful, I suppose. Now the problem with Mr. Andre here, is his name, as you remember from last time, is he's got a bit of a problem in his backyard, and we have to take care of that for him. So let's drink for good luck and head into this corridor here. This is a Titanite demon. It is incredibly strong. It has incredibly janky hitboxes, as you'll see in a minute, hopefully. Yes, I do want to show that off. We don't do a lot of damage to it, but you know what? I'm feeling incredibly, perhaps overconfident that we can do this. So what do you say? Let's take on a Titanite demon, our first one. Oh shit, yeah, see, that was what I mean. I believe it can also grab you, but it's not too much to worry about at this point right now. But yes, the downward stab has an incredibly disjointed hitbox, kind of like a lot of Dark Souls 2 enemies. As you can see, I was not near it when I got hit, so it's a little misleading as to how you want to dodge that. Your best bet is to simply just kind of circle around it, but as you can see, I'm trying to roll under it, which is not working. So I'm going to probably try to go light on the actual dodges here. The problem is it goes through your shield, and he normally doesn't spam it as much as he's doing right now, so it can be a little bit strained. That's why I just kind of back up like that. If you're not feeling fully confident on what to do there, just kind of back up all the way. There you go. He is also kind of like, I can't think of what... Oh, yeah, it kind of reminds me of King Vendrick from Dark Souls 2, actually, because he likes to back up all the time. I'll heal just in case. Just watch your stamina on this one, because he can drain it pretty quickly with just a regular attack. I believe normally you're kind of expected to run past this guy, but I just kind of... He doesn't respawn, so I kind of want him out of the way. That's one thing that Dark Souls 1 does that 2 and 3 don't do as much, is many of the tougher enemies will not respawn. They only have to be killed once, like that big heavy knight that I fought to get the Titanite shard earlier. He never respawns, so if you can beat him once, you don't have to worry about him again in subsequent traversing's through the Undead Parish. Speaking of which, we are finally done with that shit, man. Can you, like... Can we get some serious, I don't know, we're not on Twitch, so I can't say cheers, but just some good vibes, because we are finally through with that garbage early game of Dark Souls 1, and we are into the good stuff, the best as I can put it. The camera's doing me no favors here. I want to get around this pillar that's kind of fallen over here. He does have considerable reach, as you have noticed. Due to his Titanite catch pole, that is his weapon of choice, he can reach quite far, all things considered. As you've seen before, I don't prefer to fight on stairs, but if I have to, well, sometimes you just gotta make do. As you can see, he killed me in one hit because I have shitty armor. Okay, we are back. I just kind of weakened this guy down to the last hit because that's how it should have gone the first time. This guy has the hitbox of a fucking Dark Souls 2 character, so can't say I'm that surprised. Demon Titanite is used to upgrade boss weapons in this game, I believe. I think that's how it goes. Anyways, welcome to Andre's big ol' backyard. Or as the game likes to call it. Come on. Oh, these guys cannot be backstabbed or parried, so just whack them and whack them, I guess. I mean, you can't really zap them and whack them. It's not... I mean, you can, but not yet. That's the point I'm getting at. Okay, this way leads to a few little secrets, so we have to... This guy tries to chase us down. These guys are also one of the first enemies that can in fact grab us, and Dark Souls 1 actually has notoriously disjointed grab boxes. Think of it, every enemy in this game as a Marth from Super Smash Bros. Melee. Specifically Melee, where you had a, you know, a really big disjointed grab box. There is in fact a Titanite bug down here, but can we reach it is the question. I have a lot of trouble with this one usually, because it tends to be a lot quicker, but I got it that time. Alright. Same thing as last time, Twinkling Titanite as well as plain old large Titanite, which is used to upgrade past +5. And then there's some armor around here, I believe. Yes, there is. If you drop down here, there is a leather armor set, as well as the longbow and feather arrows. So if you don't have a proper bow and arrow yet, well, now you do. Gonna drop down here. I would not advise exploring this area too heavily, just because it has a lot of bad, evil things in it. But I would go ahead and just get to the very bottom of it, as you'll see why in a minute. Now here, my friends, is a Black Knight, one of the, I guess, kind of elite enemies of the game. There was a dropping attack. Oh, and I'm dead. Okay. Like I said, man, balls to the wall. I'm not playing this game any other way. I may have mentioned it before, but the one of the few, like, things that's consistently bad with all the games is the slope detection in this entire series is honestly pretty abysmal. Which is why I don't like the platform at all, because it's just... Even when you're, like, even when only, like, one of your feet looks like it's off of a, like not off-center, or off-center onto a platform or whatever, you'll still end up falling off. So... You'll see that when I play Dark Souls 2 as well, because there is a certain segment where you have to kind of jump across these houses. You don't have to, but it's kind of incredibly helpful to do so. And you can often slip off even if you're perfectly on the platform. It's not like you fall through it or anything, you just, for some reason, you keep going even though, again, the game just doesn't have very good slope detection. That's the word to use for it. Let's see if I can drop this guy this time. Can't quite. There we go. Come on. Get up the ramp here. I had some purple moss clump right there, by the way, which will be used for... What the hell is this guy doing? Can this guy not navigate a slope? I don't want to risk it again, but fuck it. Let's just fight. Come on. These guys kind of teach you how to parry and backstab as well if you don't know how to do it already, but I've kind of shown the basics of that as it is. Like that. See, I'm good at the advanced stuff in this game sometimes. Alright, the Black Knight Halberd. A very good weapon if you want that. I might use it later. I don't think I can use it without like getting certain stats at the moment, but I may show it off a little bit. I don't want to use it for the entire game, but... Oh yeah, there's something past him also. What might that be? What do you say we forge on and find out? That is the Grass Crest Shield. It doesn't look like that in the actual game. That is a mod I have installed. The Grass Crest Shield will slowly regenerate your... It'll increase your stamina regen while wearing it, so I guess we'll put it on just for... You know, it's quite... It's a very ubiquitous item in Dark Souls, actually. This shield is... A lot of people like to use it. It is incredibly popular in both PvE and PvP. Most people just put it on their back like this and just two-hand, but it does have decent like blocking ability too. It just doesn't have very good stability, but it's good for just your all-purpose kind of shield. So... Again, if you're having trouble with the game, just go ahead and use that, and you should be doing pretty dandy. What are the stats? Like, what are the requirements on that halberd? You need 32 strength, but I can two-hand it later, and 18 dexterity. The Black Knight weapons have quite high requirements in that regard, so... As I said, I'll probably show it off a little bit, but it's kind of, to be honest, it's a very overpowered weapon. A lot of people catch criticism when they use that weapon for their entire playthrough, so I might use it on like a single boss somewhere or something like that, but I don't want to just spam it, so to speak. So let's keep going this time and see what lies ahead in the Darkroot Garden. Parts of... oh yeah, there's guys that surprise you like that too. So watch out for the grabs. As I said, their hitbox is a bit disjointed, kind of like SSBM Marth, but they're kind of just vine whipping right now. Just gotta get a chance to attack, because when they synchronize their attacks like that, it can be quite tough. But yes, you may want to grind this area if you're having a little bit of trouble, because they drop a lot of that moss clump, which will cure poison, which, like in a lot of RPGs, will slowly drain your health. So I would highly recommend, you know, using that to your full advantage. Anyways, this game also has a very interesting mechanic in it, which is hidden walls. Certain walls in this game are actually illusions that can only be broken by attacking them. There's your first one. Leads to a bonfire, so no reason not to get that. Yes, just do a basic attack on the hidden wall and it will reveal its contents to you. That was in all the Dark Souls games. I think it was in Demon Souls as well, actually, but you know what I mean. Our strength is okay for right now. Let's do like some health, and I'll just do health for now. Didn't have a lot of souls on me, so I wasn't able to get like a huge boost, but take what I can get. This door leads to another boss. You can't get to it yet, so let's go around it instead. Let's see what lies ahead. This is a bit of an ambush here. You have to grab this item to activate it, so I'm going to get it and just roll the fuck away. Let's see here. Come on. Just gotta lure him out. There are 3 of them in here, so it can be a little bit of a skirmish here. Trying to use Vine Whip on me. This ain't no Pokemon. Come on. Really going for that grab today, I noticed. Obviously doesn't have the same range as the, I got Blood Red. That's fucking useless. Blood Red moss clumps only reduce bleed buildup, which is kind of a thing much later on. And it's not nearly as, like... bleed buildup is something you just want to try to avoid altogether. Trying to heal it is really situational. By the way, you might want to wake these guys up. These are the stone soldiers. They're not particularly strong, as you can see. They go down in 2 hits. That is because I have the mace, though. The mace does extra damage against armored foes. If you come across a knight or something of that general persuasion, that's the weapon you want to use against it. Any sort of blunt style weapon is generally much better to use against a armored foe, or an armored foe. I know I should be using proper English. We have kind of a hidden snake enemy here on this tree, and he drops an egg vermifuge. Interesting. That is used for a very specific status condition later on. I'm not gonna fuck with it just yet, but you'll see what it does in due time. If I decide to show that off, that is. Okay, this part has a lot of these stone soldiers in it, so be ready for a fight. That's the one I killed. By the way, there's some trees here that kind of wriggle around and move. You can kill them. Play some RuneScape for a second. Get my woodcutting level up with a mace. Alright, let's try to lure out some of these soldiers, because they can... Come on. Okay. This is a bit of an ambush as well. You have a stone soldier and a couple of these... They are called demonic foliage. That is their official name. Ah, you little coward. He had to do his little frame 1 backstep. Alright. Luckily, the demonic foliage is faster than the stone soldiers, so they will naturally kind of separate themselves, hopefully. Right now, they're quite coordinated, actually. I'm impressed. He tried to cast a spell on me, but I avoided it, thankfully. Alright, gotta watch my camera here, because I don't want to get backed into a corner. Okay, I was trying to roll there, but I was a little bit late on that. Can I please get up in time before he hits me with a spell? Thank you. Okay. Thankfully on the PC version you have less chance of like inputs dropping because you don't have to worry about 30 frames per second limiting you otherwise. I know when I played this game on console it was much more of a... Yeah, I didn't think I was getting away with that. When I played on console it was a bit more of a problem just because I had to constantly, you know, worry about not only 30 frames per second but slowdown as well. Because certain areas of the game get a bit lagged up. This game is not optimized for console very well, so if you have a decent enough PC to play it on, well, I would highly recommend that, because like Dark Souls 2, especially Scholar of the First Sin, runs actually the exact same on console. It runs at a stable 60 frames, and usually will not drop. So, when it comes to that game, you know, obviously it was kind of a, not a remake, but kind of a re-release. So you can expect that to work better on, or at least, you know, work the same on console. There was that spell, by the way, thankfully I was able to avoid it still. Alright, can we grab this item? Be very quiet. There's the Elite Knight outfit, the kind of the poster child of this game, if you will. I kind of want to equip some better stuff. Let's get the leather boots on. Get some, let's go for the Balder armor for now. We have the Elite Knight helm, which has a nice trim to it. As you can see, I've modded that on. Still rolling kind of slow, but I mean, what are you going to do? Let's see, these weigh 7. Okay, so you won't change out the gloves. I'll change out the gloves, why not? Just because I like to have the full repertoire going on here. Alright, can we lure these guys this time? Come on. But yes, the demonic foliage will try to vine whip you a lot. Thankfully their grab is not as bad as like certain enemies in this game. Wow, I was really late on that. Oh shit, that was my fault. I'm probably gonna die here because I've accidentally awoken, rather, 2 of the, whatever you call those knights. Stone soldiers, yes. Okay. Can we escape from this predicament, though, is the question. It's funny that the stone soldiers take more damage from my attacks than the foliage does, but I mean, I guess that's just the power of the bonus I'm getting here. As you can see, though, I have better armor now, so I'm taking a bit more... I'm standing up to hits a little bit better. Alright, let's try to... There's just so fucking many of them, though, is the problem. I may just switch back to the better shield, or the shield with more stability to it, because honestly, I was doing better in terms of like damage absorption, because this thing doesn't have quite, it doesn't have 100%, it has 95% block on it, so it will be letting a bit of damage through, kind of like a lot of the early Dark Souls 2 shields will be. But once you get them kind of corralled like this, just stuck together, they're a bit more manageable, as you can see, and 600 per kill is not bad at all. So let's keep exploring the forest here. This is still one of my favorite parts of the game, because it's very atmospheric compared to the Undead Burg-Parish, which are kind of like, just, again, not a lot of things going on in the game to immerse you. It's just, again, I don't like that area. I think it was done way better in Dark Souls 2 as well as Demon Souls, the kind of PlayStation 3 predecessor to this game. I think it was done infinitely better in those 2 games, if you ask me, because... Again, I just don't think the Undead Burg-Parish have anything going for them. They don't have any lore behind them. They just kind of exist as early game areas. They're as generic as it gets. And I know I'm kind of alone in thinking that. I know a lot of people tend to praise the hell out of those areas for being good. There's some frog ray enemies here. Just incredibly non-threatening. Not worth a lot of time. Another tree here. But yeah, I didn't get enough time to really rant about it when I was playing that part because, well, it was so short that it kind of came and went, you know? Take a drink here, my mouth's getting kind of dry. It's my first sip of the Kona Island Hanale IPA, which is a certain brand of lovely Hawaiian-style beer. Did you know my girlfriend is of Hawaiian heritage? I'm thinking about trying to... I mean, I know it's like incredibly long-term, but I kind of was thinking about having our wedding there because just a tribute to the OGs, you know? That was a bad idea. I completely whiffed that attack because I wasn't locked on. But yeah, I like this place a lot. It's very atmospheric, it's nice and dark and quiet. And this right here, my friend, is the Wolf Ring. This is a great chance to explain a certain mechanic in this game. A mechanic that really only worked in Dark Souls 1. It is called poise. The more poise you have, the more, the less hit stun you'll take. If you have a lot of poise, you can just kind of attack through other attacks. In Dark Souls 2, it only really worked when you had, when you were attacking. It didn't work as well when you were just standing there. No spells. This is a melee-only playthrough, my friend. I would not try that if I were you. But yeah, armor will usually increase poise by certain amounts of points depending on how good the armor is to begin with. But this ring increases it by a total of 40 points, which is very high for the record. So if you want to be able to attack through other attacks, you may want to stack up your poise in this game by using the Wolf Ring as well as certain armors and general things like that. Another soul forest, not bad. Alright. That is the extent of this area. We have to go back now. Not all the way back out of the forest, but we have to go back to that area with those two playing dead, or sleeping knights, I guess. Like the sleeping knights from SAO, I don't know. I like that part of SAO, actually. I like the arc with the Sleeping Knights Guild. I'm not a fan of the running animation in this game. It's kind of like you're running with broken ankles. Look at how my feet just kind of bend inwards. I don't get why people like the animations in this game over Dark Souls 2, because in Dark Souls 2 it's not nearly as jerky. I mean, it's slower for sure, but like, it has this strange, unnatural jerkiness to it. Like, even when I swing the mace, it's kind of like I'm almost acting or something. It's weird to describe. Anyways, back here is an extra secret. Cut down a few shrubs. You have a summon sign here for Witch Beatrice. We're not going to be getting her this time, though, because I want to do this by myself. Now, the real question is, how are we going to take this on? Let's get these off of here. I may go ahead and use up a few firebombs here just to get them out of my inventory, because I don't have any ranged attacks. Let's go ahead and... what has better magic defense? 42, 30, 30, 40... I guess what I have. Why am I going through fucking swords? Yeah, this boss attacks entirely through magic. It can be a little bit tough. I'm going to heal to full health just to make sure I'm doing okay for this. Take a drink for good luck. Alright, and it is boss time, my friends. Welcome to the Moonlight Butterfly boss fight. It is incredibly majestic. I'm gonna try to throw some flames at it if I can possibly... no, it's not gonna work. Okay. Can't blame me for trying. But this guy will only shoot magic at you. He will not try any melee attack of any sort. He's a bit tricky to dodge, but as you can see, I can decently get this done. He has one attack that kind of has this explosion to it, so it's a little awkward to dodge. I'm going to go ahead and switch off Estus just in case. Yeah, he hits through most of any shield you would have at this point in the game. Because you don't have a lot of magic defense just yet. When he flies overhead, it's kind of tough because he can sometimes do a special attack that will do like most of your health. Thankfully, that one's not so bad. It's really this little pinprick attack that he does that's kind of awkward to dodge. And it hits the wall too, it'll kind of fizzle out, so if you can take advantage of that, you'll be doing a little bit better for yourself, I would say. Now he finally lands, thank you. Get a few hits off on him. It's kind of an explosion attack, so watch out for that. I think I can avoid it from here, yeah I can. Okay. Perfect, I can heal then. Okay. But yeah, when he flies overhead is when you want to really watch out, because he will do kind of a spirit bomb looking attack that will be very hard to avoid, because it will have kind of an AoE, area of effect, if you don't know what that means for some reason. God, I hate that attack right there because it comes from a lot of different directions at once, so it's kind of a tough one to properly... Here it comes! And that really hit me hard. Okay, come on. I was hoping I could get behind him, but I guess that wasn't gonna work out in my favor, unfortunately. God, he's just using that attack left and right this time. I can roll under it, though, it seems like. It's one of his more quote-unquote rare attacks. Certain bosses in this game have what I like to call a rare attack, because he doesn't use it very often. Why else would I call it rare? I don't know. Unless it was an attack that involved Banjo-Kazooie or something. But yeah, when he lands, just wail on him like this. He's not so bad. That is, by the way, an optional boss. You do not have to defeat that boss to progress within the game. It is entirely to get certain things for later on. If you want to skip that boss, no shame in it.